In progress.
Hello and welcome. In today's video, we'll talk about how for loop has got an edge over for each. So since both of the things are used for iteration over the elements, but then how for loop works better over here. So the scenario is that we have got a promise, and a promise has got a resolve and a reject. So when the iteration is done over the array over here, let's say we're trying to find the laptop. The moment you get the laptop, either it's a true or a false. That means the search is happening. So the first iteration will go for the search for the phone, but then we are looking for the laptop. So this one, this is a false, this is a false, and this one becomes true. So after the third iteration, what happens is that since the laptop search has ended, so our search has become true because the promise works on a true or a false. So it will either give you a resolve or a reject. So, and then you can have the callback function attached to it. So we'll check out using the for each and for loop. What's the problem in the for each that doesn't work properly over here? But how can for loop do our job? Although both will give the result, but why for loop works better over here? First, we'll write the code and we'll try to see in the debugging mode what the problem is with the for each method. So over here, we can first define the constant, and that will be let's say a pro. And since we are making a new promise, and the promise has got a resolve, so we need to define it. And to define it, we need brackets, resolve, and reject. And then we have got the arrow function. So if you have problems in the arrow function, you need to first go through the arrow function, how it works, and how the placement of arrow and the curly braces and those things, work. Now, here, what we are trying to do is that first we are going to make a flag. It's just a variable, and that we will put it as false because when we start to search, we know that we haven't found it. So at starting, it will be a false, and then we will go for a for each search. So what are we going to do a for each on? We're going to do a for each on the product. So this is the array that we have got over here. And then we are going to do a for each. And in that for each, we are going to look for the element or the item, whatever you want to write, pass the parameter over there, like A, B, C, D, or element, or item, or whatever. So I think item will be okay. So on the item, you're going to look for each of the items, and then we have got our curly braces. And inside the item, we have got the if statement, because we want to see if our item dot name equals laptop. This is what we're going to search, laptop. Then if we get that thing, then do one thing, make the flag equals true, right? And then we can do a console log over here. Then we can do a console log over here of the flag. Okay, so this is how it's working. Now, when we got the flag, we have to come out of the for each block, and we have to check if our flag is true or false. So if the flag is true, then we need to resolve the thing, resolve, and say that Now we got the thing. Laptop is found. Or else, what we'll say, reject. When we get a false, suppose there is no laptop in the list over here, you're going to say reject. And the message we're going to pass is laptop is not found. Okay. After that, we're going to use the callback function over here using the pro dot. Then, after that, then we're going to use a result that we get, and the result will give us the console log, and we can log the result, whatever the result is, whether it's found or not. And with the chaining method, we can go for a catch as well. And with the catch, we can go with the result again. And it will be again a console dot log. And then we are going to show the result of it. So let's check out what's happening over here. In this code, what I've done is that first we put the flag to a false. Okay, so what's happening over here is that the item, that means each of the items, we have got this first, second, third, fourth item. This whole thing is an item now. You want to call it as element, the whole thing becomes an element. So what you call this whole thing as A, the whole thing becomes an A. So whatever you pass the parameter over here, it becomes the same thing. Now, A dot name, that means the whole thing dot name. So first, since we are using for each over here, what's going to do is that it says that if I get the laptop, so item dot name is equals a laptop. So if I get the laptop, the statement that says that the variable flag becomes true. Here the variable flag becomes false. The moment I get the laptop, this flag is assigned a new value over here, and that's a true. How? When this condition satisfies, then this flag becomes a true. When it reads true, it consoles the log, the flag log, and we get the result. So if we get the flag as true, so once it passes from here and gets the laptop, the value for this flag becomes true. If we did not get the laptop, the value for flag remains false, and we're going to put the reject over here. And then we are using a callback function. This is also a callback function over here. This is also a callback function. So because it goes for an if statement, if we get the flag, and then something is going to happen. So it's something of the same type. So after that, that is then, you need to pass the parameter result in arrow function and say that whatever the result we have got. And if it is not, then we're going to catch it and says that the console log, whatever the result is. Okay. Now let's debug and see what the problem is with using for each over here. So we're going to come over here, and since the breakpoint is set on line number 13, so it goes on and it checks. Now it checks, it's a false. Flag is a false over here, you see. So over here, the flag is false because we know flag is false. But once this condition matches, it will become true. So let's go ahead, and you see it went for the first item, looked for it, and do we have this thing over here? It looked for the 0th number index and saw that it was a phone. So it's not satisfied. It will iterate, because for each is for iteration on each of these things. So the next time, again, the breakpoint will reach over here and try to look for the next one, and it's a tablet, you see. So still it's a false, and it again goes for it. And then the third time it goes and finds a laptop. But since there is a promise, and a promise, when the promise is actually met, either by a reject or a resolve. So here we have resolved it, and we have got the laptop. So the flag over here will become a true. Let me just move one step, and the flag becomes a true over here. You see, when the flag becomes true, then it should come out of this piece of block and come over here, because we are waiting for it to be true or it to be false. So when none of the things over here is a laptop, it will automatically give it a false and keep on iterating to all the elements till it reaches either a true or a false. So since it got a true, so it should move out of this for each block and come over here. But the problem is it's not moving, but still it continues to iterate. You see, again, it went back over here and still look for, the fourth item that it gets is a monitor, and then it becomes a false because monitor is a false, and then it goes for the again a laptop. So and laptop is a true. So it got two trues over here, and that shouldn't be the case. The moment we get a true, or after the whole thing, if we don't get a true, we should get a false. Let's say this is a false, 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 and it is ended. So it's a reject. What it is saying is that we look for everything and we do not get anything. But the moment it gets a true, let's say in the third position, in the index number 2, it should ideally come out of it, but forEach is not able to do that, and here's the problem. Okay, so let's move ahead, and now it has come to a resolve because the flag is true, and the flag is true, so it will give you the result. So we have done over here the console log to see the result. So you can see the result is a laptop is found, and that's the biggest problem over here. So how can we deal with this particular issue? Now, because forEach cannot be broken, it will continue to iterate even if the condition is met. So that's the problem with forEach. So what we will do over here is that we're going to use our forLoop. So we need to check the brackets that we should be at the right point. Yeah. So just we can comment this piece of code, and let's try to deal with the same condition. You see, the only thing that we are changing over here is a for loop. Put a for, and here we have got a variable I equals 0, and I should be smaller than the length of the array. So product dot length, only then it will iterate and keep on iterating till the condition is met. So I plus plus. Okay, so moving ahead, if so we have to put an if condition. If our product, and we have got the index, because in the for loop, the traditional for loop, we have got the in order to locate in this we have used over here simply the item dot name, but it cannot be done that way, product dot name, unless we put an I over there, the index, and then we'll put dot name after that and say if it is equal to laptop, then do one thing. if our port name is equal to laptop, flag should be true. Flag should be true. And once it becomes true, we can console.log, we can console the flag okay. So but the problem is that it should give us a so once we find that in the third position the laptop, what we are looking for is there, we don't want to iterate any further. So what we will say a break. Break. So this is how it's gonna, and we are not going to use this particular thing. Oh, there's a promise, so we have to, and there's a break, and everything is okay. So now we can now again put our breakpoint, remove the breakpoint from here and put it over here, and now we'll check out how this one works. So we're going to run this thing and check out. So it goes to the promise, goes to the product, checks for the thing. So it goes for the first check, and it's a false. So it found a phone, and it wants to go ahead and check for another one. And then it goes again. The index number 2. Now it gets the laptop, and the flag becomes true because the condition is met. So this it entered the block, and it found the because we have made the let variable to be true. Okay, so assignment of in the let you can assign it. Reassignment is possible. So flag is true. So it will go for a console log, and it gives us a true. And here it's going to break. Like in this case, it did not break and kept on, iterating over the elements over here. But you see, it broke and directly came to the if one. What did we get? If flag is resolved. So it says that it is resolved. So laptop is found, and then it will go for a go for a pro. That means this one, and there is a callback function, and it will say the laptop is found. What if we remove laptop from here? Let's say we remove laptop from here. So what's going to happen in both of the cases? There's forEach or forLoop, because since no laptop is here, so forEach by its very nature is going to iterate over everything. And over here also, since no laptop is found, so it will iterate over everything and remain to be false. So this statement will work, and result over here, the catch result will give you a false. So just run and debug this particular thing. So go faster, did not find, did not find, did not find, done it. And then it goes to the else statement. Laptop is not found. So that result is consoled over here. And then we get laptop is not found. This is the edge that we get in this for loop over this one. So thanks for watching the video.